Shit Talker Black. The other day I got a message from someone that wanted to know a little bit more about aNUNnaQU being synonymous with reptilian. Well, the aNUNnaQUs, you have, well, you know, there's a pink man because I was talking to someone, a good while back, and they were saying, you know, when the melanated man comes up with something that the melanated man has never heard, then I will have to get a cosigner. So I went and found cosigners for every fucking thing. But today I'm going to talk about the cosigner here. This is the aNUNnaQU of NIBIRU. This is part 3. Part 1 and 2 to me it was more so like not what I was looking for. But this is. So I'm going to allow this pink man to tell you what he tells you, and then I'm going to tell him something different. And this year, whatever year it was, rank. There's Hermes and Mercury, Venus and Juno, Jupiter. These are gods of Rome. Jupiter, that's where Pandora is from, and Mercury, it rules my sign Gemini. There's aNUNnaQU. aNUNnaQU, he pronounces this a different way, but it's aNUNnaQU, Enlil, I don't know who that is, and aNUNnaQU. You know, so let's see what he says. If I can, I'm going to get to where I want it to be. I don't want to be on here forever. I'm going to show this part right here. He has a chart, you know. See, pink people know everything they know. I don't know what this is. Enlil, but his name is Enlil. It's Enlil. Because they were saying in that little motherfucker, whatever, because they did not like aNU. Now, they spell aNUNnaQU with a K-I-C. It actually should be a Q-U. The noon is for a male. And, but this is aNU right here. But noon is for a male. And it should be a Q-U. It is for a female. See? They have it right here, sister. And he's talking some shit there. Hey, it's just a lot of bullshit. I'm going to crack his ass open, though.
They finally decide that they'd seen a bipedal hominid on the steppes of Africa, possibly Neanderthal or Erectus, whatever the being was.
You hear he said Neanderthal or some kind of Erectus. So it's either a Neanderthal or is it a dinosaur? Anyway, somewhere in this video, he was talking about how the aNUNnaQU come down. And they made man, he says man, he's not a man, the melanated man is man, he is mankind. And the aNUNnaQU made man to go into the cave to slave for them to get the gold. Well, damn. When we decided to go into the flesh, there was one law that was made to experience the flesh. There was one law that was made, and that law was not to fuck with DNA. And this did not happen here on Earth. This happened in the galaxies. And aNUNnaQU decided to play around with Pandora when she was pregnant, and this is what started to become, you know, from between her feet, you know, Pandora's box, the pink man. Now, aNUNnaQU and Pandora, they could make yellow babies, from the yellowest baby to the blackest baby, because aNUNnaQU is from Politis and he's yellow. Pleiades is the planet of yellow people, yellow beings, and then Pandora, she's from Jupiter, the planet of the black. I mean black, so black you could be purple or blue beans. They've lightened up just a tad bit because of Pandora's children that she took back there. This is a movie that I see, So it's a lot happening between there. I do have videos somewhere, different here and there about that. But anyway, in your book, the Bible, it is the Garden of Eden where Adam and Eve were put out. They were not allowed to procreate when they were in the garden. But once they got put out, they were told to be fruitful and multiply. That was backwards from the aNUNnaQU. Anu decided to put their asses on the moon. They were not to procreate. But in their book, they say once they were put out, they were allowed. But in the Bible, it says, once they were put out the garden to be fruitful and multiply. But if you read before they got put out, nowhere does it say to be fruitful and multiply for them. They were not to be fruitful and multiply because that would bring about incest, but it was something wrong with their minds. And at the time, there was no one killing anyone, but see, no one was supposed to play around with DNA either, but Inky did. And this is what came from him playing around like with her navel. If something is stuck in her navel in the movie, if something is sticks in her navel, he pulls something out, he does this and does that, like some form of a scientific experiment. Scientific, when you have scientific shit going on, you need a target, and Pandora was Inky's target, and so were her babies. And then they go to, a lot of shit happened there. And then another movie is when they are on Mars and they do a bunch of shit there. And so Inky begins to cry to Anu to come and get him, to come save him. So Anu does, and when Inky goes back to Pleiades, he does have a few of his non-melanated children with him. I think it's 4 of them. I'm not for sure. I can't remember. I haven't seen the movie in a while. But I think it's 4 non-melanated and 2 that are melanated. So now the 4 that are not melanated, see here, when the earth spins, it goes really, really fast. So you age fast. He talks about that too. And so, but what they are, they're not worried about moving around so fast. So it was a while before those who were on Pleiades, the pink man that was on Pleiades, decided to get some of the melanated ones too from Pleiades to grab this gold and come down here. Wow, it's a lot to explain. Now, the gold that they had, the ships seem to have the gold, maybe lining or something. So when you go in a mine and you're scraping off the gold, you're actually scraping off of a spaceship. So Inky and them came down here to get them. Now, before that happened, when they had the war on Mars, those who were still alive, maybe sick or whatever, Saturn pleaded for them to come to Earth. The greenery here will help them out. Before we just come to Earth and, it's like a big ass playground, for us. And so, the melanated man will be pissed off to know that the non-melanated man was on Earth before we were. The melanated man got on, and that tells you too. And Rebecca in her womb, 2 melanated people, and the pink one came out hairy, over. He was he came out pink and hairy all over. They have him as he was first because he was first on the earth. He was first in the matrix, first in the womb, which is earth. Then came the melanated man. Now the melanated man, see, in order for the non-melanated man to get to earth, he had to have this green kind of slime on him or something, so he can get past the apex, and then there's the zenith and some other shit. And so the ones from Mars, they put that on there, and they came here. And maybe on Earth, maybe it would be 100 years or 150 years later, those non-melanated ones who are on Politis, you know, and Inky, you know, really did not want them there. And they got some of the melanated ones also to come down here, and they brought a lot of gold with them down here. And so aNU and them, they got a crew together, and they came hunting for these motherfuckers. They didn't have to make them, they were already made. And yeah, aNU made their bitch asses go in them caves and bring that damn gold out, or however they had hid it. It had been hid for like 150, maybe 200 years. It had been hid. They hid it a lot of places. And so Inky made them go, aNU made them go in and get it out, to bring out as much as they needed. Also in this video, he talks about how we age on this planet. And we do, because we go around so fast or whatever. So he said that aNU and them begin to age rapidly, so they decided to leave. But some had aged so rapidly that they stayed here, and so did their offspring. And that is true, but in a sense of a way, it's true. But he's a liar too, you know. They have a forked tongue. They tell you the truth and lie to you at the same time. And that's why my folk call said they have a forked tongue. So then he so aNU, he has on this timer, you know. I have a video about that too. And they did have to leave, and they did not gather up all the gold, and although they knew what the gold would become in the future for this planet with these motherfuckers in charge. aNU hates them. I mean, he hates them. He cannot stand a melanated motherfucker. Doesn't matter what nation you're from. If you're pink, you're not melanated, he hates your guts. He wants you dead. He really does. But he cannot kill you right now. He can't do too much anything right now, because too many melanated stupid motherfuckers are hanging out with you guys, because you guys have them under my control. So yeah, aNU and them, they had to leave, and some did stay behind to see if they can gather up as much gold as they could to take it back. I just want to go through and see what he says.
Signed up with his sister in Harsaw. Where is she?
He said his sister in Harsaw, whatever it is. But Inky's sister name is aNUNnaQU, and she is not his half sister. He say that aNUNnaQU is his half sister, and he said that aNUNnaQU is his half brother. But the reason that is because aNUNnaQU and aNUNnaQU were born here. They were not around to experience the flesh in the galaxies, you know. If they were not aNUNnaQU and aNUNnaQU. And by the way, aNUNnaQU and aNUNnaQU are twins. He won't tell you that. Isis in Egypt. Well, I'm just gonna pass that one. Now he said she was a medical officer. She could have been a medical officer, because they did need medical officers, because their bodies did begin to break down. But what they did was they had their own DNA. And, you know, see, petri dishes are nothing new under the sun. So they took the like if it's me, then they take my DNA and they do whatever the fuck they did with it, and then they would come and do the surgery on me to make me better. But it's no one else's lungs, it's no one else's heart, it's no one else's arm or leg or brain. It all the DNA belongs to me. See, once Inky start fucking with DNA, shit start fucking up way bad. Then when the nine heads, they all listened to Saturn and decided to, okay, we will see if the greenery on Earth will help them out, you know. But they want to say that the Earth had dinosaurs. When they were locked up on Earth, it had dinosaurs. When the Neanderthal man was wrong, they had dinosaurs. That's a lie. And just let him talk.
He and his sister were signed up to go into South Africa and take these bipedal hominids they found there, with the council's approval, genetically augmented to create a primitive worker.
He said to genetically alter some form of a worker. Bitch, your motherfucking non-melanated ass was already here. What he's talking about is shit that Inky did in the galaxies when they decided to experience the flesh in the galaxies.
Fertilization is not new. It was
See?
going on back then. And they described it in
No, it's not new. Infertilization, whatever, because this is how they came about, through Inky fucking around with Pandora's navel
kind of detail in their document.
and her babies.
Very disturbing.
So all this was motivated out of gold.
Pretty much. Yeah. So,
But why would they pick humans? We're the weakest physical species on Earth.
they created us.
Gorillas.
Because they didn't want anyone to listen. The problem they had before was these mutiny miners.
You said they picked a bipedal hominid.
Oh, they tried.
Gorillas.
Well, they tried animals. They did all kinds of chimera experiments, and apparently they couldn't follow the commands the way they wanted, and they ended up using Inky's DNA to.
See, they use Inky's DNA because these are actually Inky's sperm. He impregnated Pandora, so yes, they used it. He used his own DNA he created them from his DNA. Shit, he's their dad, but he doesn't want them anymore. And when the snitching motherfucker brought out the aNUNnaQU and was doing all this fucking lying, pay attention to your weather from thence and see how bad your weather became. Because all these pink people, they're liars. They think the snitching nigga is dead, and he better shut his mouth with his lying ass. If something happens to him, he already has a retarded son. Something else can happen to his bitch ass.
Share it with
Beta
this
bitch
tiny
motherfucker.
woman. And it looks like it was Neanderthal according to the genetics thing.
See? Looks like it was a Neanderthal. Bitch, you are a Neanderthal.
I've been doing okay.
If their mining worked,
Bitch jumped on the side.
then they should have passed.
Notice when he mentioned Neanderthal, something seemed to cut. And then, you know, they took the camera this way when he mentioned Neanderthal.
One would think so, but I have to tell you a story. They had an emissary come to the Earth who met with their medical officer. His name was Galsu. And he had gone to school.
These motherfuckers know every fucking name. All the way back then, they know every fucking thing in the world. I swear there's nothing. These bitches don't know. When they talk about ancient Egypt, a pink man. They talk about aNUNnaQU, a pink man. A pink chick. And they're all going off of Snitchen's book. That's what they are going off of, Snitchen's book.
With Ninhartzog, who was ISIS, and he goes, "We went to school together, you and I. Boy, have you aged." And that's when she got the
He's even adding words to the mouth. We went to school together. They didn't have a school, you nasty bitch.
cue. But aging was a function of the local life cycles of the planet you're on around the sun. So if you're going around it really fast, guess what? You age faster than if you're going around it really slow. That's odd. It's hard to
Yeah,
get your
see,
head around.
yeah.
That seems to be the case. Yeah. So when Ninhartzog found this out, they actually went down a path to find a way to improve to increase the longevity of their lives, because they were aging much faster than they should have. Now it gets worse. About 500 BCE, I'm jumping ahead of myself here, this same emissary told them that, guess what? they sent it to the highest level people, Inky and Enlil themselves. And they
The highest level people, Inky and them.
told them, we have some bad news for you. You can't come back to NIBIRU or you will die because you've been here so long. They got enslaved to what gravity did to their bodies here on this planet.
It was them. They got enslaved to what gravity did to their bodies. They had AIDS very fast. A non-melanated motherfucker, AIDS is very, very fast. If you see a melanated Chinese or a melanated Japanese or a melanated Mexican or Cuban or whatever, you take the melanated one at his age and you put it to a non-melanated one of the same age. The non-melanated man will possibly look 10, 15, maybe even 20 years older than a melanated man. And of course, aNUNnaQU told them they could never come back to Politis. Never, ever, ever. They, they want to say, like in Avatar, they went to Jupiter and they say Pandora. So if they went to the mountain of Pandora, then they have to go to Jupiter to do that war, that fighting and shit. No, they didn't do that there. But they did do that on other planets to kill them out. And then if you see Avatar, you see at the end, the other tribes came to help and ran them off. And that was the same thing that happened when they were on Mars. All the other planets got together and them that killed all of these motherfuckers, and then they had them to come down here to Earth. And when this was going on, it was even melanated ones with them, because Inky also has melanated children. Everyone on the planet are the children, well, not everyone, but most everyone on this planet are the children of Inky and Pandora. She can also be Ishtar. I don't think I saw Ishtar on that thingy head of the gods, because Pandora has never stepped foot on Earth in the flesh. Never. And I don't think she ever will.
And they couldn't get out. They couldn't get away. Enlil had a fit when he found this out. We enslaved these people.
He said aNUNnaQU had a fit when he found this out.
We were the ones that got enslaved by this. They didn't leave because of that.
And he's telling the truth. Inky was not out to make a slave. No one really knows what Inky was doing. He doesn't even know himself today. I think he made himself forget because he brought about all this fucking agony. And aNUNnaQU was pissed off, because now what will we do to them, with them? They're here on Earth. Will we destroy Earth too? Soon they will. And I shall return. Shit talking like he wrote.